What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Gameweek 28 Wildcard video. Today, we're going to be discussing the pros and cons of a Gameweek 28 Wildcard video. I will go through from Gameweek 28 all the way to like 31 and show you how you could get, at this moment, in this team at least, 6 double game weeks for Gameweek 28, how you can get Haaland back in, how you can get Salah back in, into your teams by like game week 31, and also we'll discuss about various other alternatives as well in terms of not only this team but some other options as well that you could look. Maybe you don't have triple Luton, maybe you don't have triple Bournemouth, maybe you start with what in this team is a big problem at the moment, or at least glaring, is that there is no City. Maybe you have City players in this wildcard, so I'll show you all of that. But if you're new, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe as well. We're currently aiming for 700 subscribers, 22 away at the moment. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comments if you did subscribe. And let's get straight in to the video. All right, now in goal, we've got Neto and Areola. Now, Neto has the double this week, and Areola has the fixture in game week 29. In defense, we've got Doty, Gabriel, and Zabani, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I might have butchered his name, but anyway, the defender from Bournemouth, as well as Udogi and Region. Now, both the Bournemouth defender and Doty, they both have a double in 28. Gabriel, pretty good going forward as well. Does blank in 29 though. Udogi and Region have fixtures in 29 and a good Udogi at least good option going forward. Region, someone you might want to look to move out post game week 29. In midfield, we got Son, Saka, Madison, and Ross Barkley. Up front, we got Solanke, Carlton Morris, and Watkins. Oh yeah, and in midfield, we also have Bowen in this team, who's on the bench. Although I don't know if I would want to bench him. I'll probably put Madison on the bench in this specific situation. Now, a few glaring issues in this team is the lack of, at the moment at least, no City. Now, let's say for example, you didn't want to have triple Luton, you didn't want like a Barkley, and you wanted to keep your Foden. You could do that. It all depends again on team value and whatnot, and the risk you're willing to take as well in terms of how many City assets do you want to have in their wildcard. Do you want to go without any? Because they have Liverpool this week and then blank in 29, and then they have Arsenal in game week 30. So it's like two tough fixtures over the span of 3 game weeks. So it's up to you in terms of that risk appetite. What is your risk appetite? You have to answer that, not me. So that based on that, you will probably look into another option. Another one is Haaland, right? Now, Haaland is another player as well where you could go, maybe I can go without Haaland this week because I'm not playing the free hit in 29. And if you're playing the wildcard in game week 28, the idea is that you're not playing the free hit in 29. Or at least that's the assumption I'm making, and that's why I'm suggesting a wildcard like this. Because otherwise it kind of doesn't make sense to me, at least, to play the wildcard in 28 and play a free hit in 29, to be honest. But this is another option. So you maybe, let's say you go, if you don't want to lose Haaland and Foden, and you also want to keep Saka and Gabriel, then you go into game week 29 and you kind of have a problem. As you can see, you here in this specific one, I've sold Solanke for 20 to get Tony in, but you will be playing with like 9 players. You can take a hit. Actually, I can't even sell Solanke to get Tony. I'm short on cash. Maybe you might have cash, but sometimes you might also be short. In this specific one, I can't. So if you want to take a hit, you might look into taking a hit in that specific situation. To maybe remove either Haaland or Foden, up to you. Or on the wildcard itself, you probably don't have them. You make a sacrifice. You go, all right, I'm going to take this sacrifice. Let's see how it goes. And you go, let's say you go without Foden, for example. You could probably go and get Douglas Lewis if you wanted. Let's say you didn't want Barkley, but you were happy to go with maybe an Aston Villa team who do have a slightly tougher fixture, to be honest, in both 28 and 29. Or you could just go, all right, I am happy with just Barkley, and you go and get Barkley in. Or you could probably go for a Forest player. Or you could say, all right, maybe I don't want Foden, but I would like to have Palmer. That's another option, although he also blanks in 29. So let's say, for example, in this specific situation, let's go with Douglas Lewis, right? Because let's say we give the opportunity for people to maybe not have someone. So let's say between Douglas Lewis and Madison, up to you who you want to start. Maybe Douglas Lewis because he's at home and he tends to have a better record at home than he does away. So you go for Douglas Lewis, and then Game Week 29 comes. You have Solanke and Haaland both. Probably look to sell Solanke and you get like a 20 in for Game Week 29. And then you play with 10. Or you can also take a hit, which probably might not pay off, and get in a different defender. Say, for example, you can go, and I'll tell you why this kind of... Okay, I'll show you why. Let's say I go for someone like an Aston Villa defender. Let's say a Pau Torres. And this is where team value and everything will come to play. I have taken a hit in Game Week 29. I'll go into Game Week 30. And I sold Bowen here for Palmer because Palmer has a really good fixture in Game Week 30. And I've gone, all right, I want Palmer. I get Palmer against Burnley. You could... The rest of your team is all right. They have decent fixtures. Maybe you look to probably move Region out as well if you wanted to, because he does play United in that. Not certain how much of a clean sheet you might get. You start Neto as well. Maybe you start Gabriel, even though they're playing City. That's another possibility. If you were to look to move players out, probably this is Ben Crellin sheet. You could probably look here. Everton have a possible double. In Game Week 34, Crystal Palace is another team that could possibly have a double. Maybe you go, all right, I would like an Anderson or someone, because they could probably have a double. They play Forest that specific week. Slightly more expensive. That's up to you in terms of how you want to reach, like how you want to go about that. Maybe you just go, I fancy my chances of Region against United. Although... I think he should be able. Yeah, he should be able to play. I don't think there's anything preventing him, even though he was on loan from Spurs. I don't think there's anything preventing. Because yeah, he should be able to play. So you could probably play like this. Game Week 31, you go. Ooh, Liverpool have a really good fixture in Game Week 31 against, in this specific situation, Sheffield United. And you go, I want some Liverpool players. So, and let's say Salah is fit. Probably sell Watkins. This is where it's going to cost you. You'll probably have to sell Watkins for, let's say you want Darwin Núñez. Then you go, okay, I want Salah. Probably sell Douglas Lewis as well, most likely. Try and get Salah. Now, in my specific situation, I am way too short. So I need to sell someone else as well. And I go, okay, maybe Tony as well. Because I look at Brentford's next set of fixtures. And they don't have a double coming up at the moment. So I'm like, okay, I probably might want to sell Tony. Although they do have some good fixtures, good single game week fixtures. Brighton, Villa, Sheffield United, Luton, Everton, Fulham, Bournemouth. Good single game week fixtures for Tony, to be honest. But you go, I want Salah more, and you go, all right, I'll sell him. 4.2 in this specific situation. So if I was to go 4.5, I would go Semenyo. Bournemouth will have a double, most likely. Good option to get in 34. Now, this is where the decision I made in Game Week 30 to try and bring in a Pau Torres kind of costed me over here because I was 0.3 short. So maybe I instead go, all right, I don't want Pau Torres. Maybe I go for someone else cheaper. And let's try and find a defender who is below 4.4. And I go, maybe Emerson. I go for Emerson, right? Here's another option that I could try to look at. I'm 0.1 short in my specific situation. So again, this is where I go. I might have to find some other way of terms of getting funds. Maybe I don't make a certain move in terms of, let's say, for example, I don't have Region. I don't go and get Emerson instead. I probably look to get someone else. Who would I even get for 4.3 in my specific situation? No one really standing out. So then in that specific situation, I would go, all right. Sorry, this is in Game Week 29 that I got Pau Torres. So instead of getting Pau Torres in Game Week 29, I just keep the Bournemouth defender and you just play with 10. And then I go into Game Week 30. I remove him out. For probably at this moment, you could also go for a Branthwaite who has Bournemouth. It is a tough fixture, but either play him or you could play Gabriel. And then in this specific situation, I'll have money for a certain Salah. So there are a few things to kind of consider when you want to try and approach this. Now, this was in this specific wildcard that I showed you. I did not sell Haaland. Some of you might go, I am okay with selling Haaland. So it all depends on whether you have the funds to. Ooh, that changed 14.3 to 14.1. That's strange. Huh. Must be a visual glitch. But yeah, it all depends on whether you have the funds to sell and buy back as well. Because Haaland, 14.5 right now. If I sell 14.3, I'll be in a tough spot to try and buy back. Foden, on the other hand, that I sold, he's 8 that I can sell for. 8.1 for me, at least he's buying price, right? If I have to buy him again, 8.1. Maybe he goes up. It's hard to say. You never know, right? To be honest. So those are a few things that you kind of want to consider in terms of team value. Some of you might actually have a lot of team value, so you don't have an issue with this when it comes to this. But some of you might not have a lot of team value, so you might want to look at how you approach some of the options. Maybe instead of Bowen, again, I go for a Russ Barkley, like I said. Oh, I'm looking at defense, my bad. And I had to adjust the price. And then you end up with a team like this. Again, instead of Bowen as well, you could probably get for Kudus. He's also not a bad option. Other player you could go and get. Instead of the Bournemouth defender, if you didn't want a Bournemouth defender and you wanted someone else, Crystal Palace have a fixture in 34 double, but again, blank in 29 that you kind of have to navigate. So this is the one disadvantage in terms of wildcard in 28 is that you have a blank to navigate as well. So when you're setting your team up, you have to kind of consider that as well, unless you're free hitting in 29. Then you don't have to worry about that. So then you can set your team up for even avoiding 29 as a blank and set your team up a bit more further out. At least maybe that's one of the positives for playing the free hit, that you can set your team up properly without having to end up getting players that also play in 29. So yeah, these are a few options in terms of a wildcard. Let me know your thoughts about it, and if you've got to this point, let me know in the comments what you think about the wildcard. There are a few options, like I mentioned. You could, if you wanted to go without City completely and get 6 players for the double, be my guest. Now I've gone for also another thing to mention. I've gone for this Bournemouth defender over Kirkes because for Kirkes and between Kirkes and Zabani, I don't know, I'm butchering that name. You kind of have to keep an eye for Kelly in terms of his injury status to see whether Kirkes will get minutes or not. So that's one thing to kind of keep an eye out for. But Kirkes probably has the Slayer upside, but also minutes risk. So that's one thing to kind of keep an eye out for. But this is basically the team. If you wanted to go without City, it is a risk. Again, it depends on your risk appetite and how much of a risk appetite you want to take. Another thing that I've seen a few people do is also go without Solanke this week and just have Morris instead. I'm not against that as well, to be honest. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, thoughts about the video. Did it help you? And if you reached this point, are you playing your Gameweek 28 wildcard? Let me know in the comments if you are, and what your draft, at least for now, looks like. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 700 subscribers, 22 away. Can we hit 700? And also, I'll be live tomorrow for a team selection video. And then on Wednesday, we have a massive podcast with the FPL SideNet boys who will be joining us as well. And we got Karen as well, who is also going to be on a wildcard. So we'll have wildcard chat. We'll have 2 of us playing the free hit in 29, 1 person not playing the free hit in 29. So you're going to get all the different type of views for that podcast. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Hit the bell notifications, and I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. Peace.